So what you gonna do, brother? We about to run wild with a style like no other. So somebody call Brodus Clay mother and tell her Richard runs are the men like Ed Lover and Doc Dre. What Scott say, what they hang on every word like it's something that The Rock say. No JR, but they talking wrestling. We bring the noise with the boys, so we Dalton Castling. So masculine, oozing machismo, mutton chop shop, Gran Turismo. No free throws, snarl hoops and heels. It's D-Bras retirement, give you the super feels. Straight shoot, it's real. Drop a pipe bomb, get ready to bull like The Rock's right arm. So stay calm, tranquilo, I'll go Naito and give him Destino. And we know that you chumps ain't ready for the heartbreak runs and the Cuban Genetti. They drop it heavy, tag team it like Teddy. Long go strong with the heat like Eddie. So steady like when Taker walk the tightrope. Spaz like Taz with the mic in a tight choke. Dirtiest player in the game with the eye poke. 1988 Macho Man on a line of coke. These other casts are a waste, they boring. Illegitimate sons like Jason Jordan. And Richard Runz never give him respect unless they going on air with a broken frickin' neck. So bounce like Papa Pump's pecs. Every time they get down, they bound to catch wreck. Y'all don't know nada. They the Okadas, you're the Washington Generals, they the Globetrotters. A whole lot of podcasts in the scene, but Richard Runz running wild is the cast of your dreams. So it seems these two is too sweet. Bullet Club pulling up with schemes to delete. So retreat, we steal, we cheat, but I never lie, I swear on these beats. And these two got some styles for you, but what you gonna do when they run wild on you?
Do you want to let everyone know that you get it? Do you not want to be a Melvin? Well, then listen to the Running Wild podcast. And if you don't, you know what you are.
I'm the last real man, Silas Young. And if you're any kind of man, you'll be listening to the Running Wild podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got a big episode. One of my favorite pay-per-views, Survivor Series. And it really feels like this Survivor Series is a little bit closer to the ones I grew up on. And then we have some other tidbits. But so I guess let's get those tidbits out of the way before we get started. I just want to remind you, though, that we're brought to you in partnership with pwponderings.com, ROHworld.com, and the last word on ProWrestling.com. You can catch us on the Wrestling to the Max network as well. All right, with all that out of the way, so first, you have Paige seemingly has returned to WWE. There's a good chance. We'll talk about it in our Survivor Series preview, but, she's been reported to be at the training center, and she's kind of tweeted about it. Seems like she's Splitsville with Mr. Del Rio, according to some social media postings. So, after a long hiatus, it seems like she might actually be back on WWE TV sooner rather than later. Are you excited either way, or you just want to kind of see how it plays out?
Yeah, she was at Raw and rumored to be made part of the Raw team, so I don't know. It would make sense for her to be on SmackDown and on the SmackDown team, but it could go either way. I don't really know what else they would have in store, who else, they could possibly use unless they brought someone back or something like that. So, Paige definitely makes sense there. But, like you said, we'll talk about that, I guess, later.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that she's back and, obviously, I guess, healthy enough to be wrestling and things like that, especially with, with the wellness thing and everything that WWE does to make sure that everybody's healthy and fit to wrestle. So she was definitely somebody who had played a large part, I think, in where we are today with the division. So it'll be just welcome to have her back. And there was one bit of outside news outside of that, or am I just completely making stuff up?
What was the other news?
All right, I know. I thought I mentioned something else, but it's slipping my mind now. Anyway, it'll probably come back.
James Ellsworth.
Oh, James. Released? Yes. How do you? One of the most inspirational WWE wrestlers of all time. Well, at least, listen. His quote. Any man with two hands, right, can win or something like that. Isn't that his famous line?
Has a fun.
Yes. Any man with two hands has a fighting chance. That's a pretty dope quote. Like, I might actually like put that up in my classroom, just as an inspirational quote for the students as they move forward in life. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird that it's even a thing, right? Because I mean, he was just essentially he went from just this random Jobert to being someone who beat AJ Styles and like, if you told me, Rich, sign this WWE contract, you're literally just going to get your ass kicked. You might get a couple cool spots. You'll be shadowing the women's Money in the Bank winner, and then we're gonna let you go. I would do it. Like,
yeah, I mean, clearly anyone in their right mind would do the same. And you know, it's cool that he got this opportunity. It's, you know, he had an awesome run with Ambrose and AJ, and then the stuff with Carmella was good. So, you know, he did what he was supposed to do at first, you know, being a jobber, like you said, to Braun and all of that. And he went out, you know, getting beat up by all the women and that sort of thing. So that, you know, that was a good way for him to go. And, you know, good for him that he got there. It's sad to see, you know, anyone get released, but, you know, it wasn't going to last forever. So now he can go on the indies and he can cash in for being James Ellsworth of WWE fame.
Now, let's just, not to be offensive, when we say cash in, do you think that, like, would you go to a show because Ellsworth is on it?
No, but how many shows are out there that will book James Ellsworth because he's from the WWE and he's a funny character? Like, Tom Delaney still wrestles, you know?
Wait, what did you just say? Are you serious?
Yeah, man. That's what I said. Yeah, man.
Speaking of people who still wrestle, there's a possibility, apparently, that some NWA show in the future is going to be featuring the Barbarian and the Warlord teaming together.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Sounds about right.
2017, The Powers of Pain.
Honestly, didn't even know either of them was actually alive.
This is just want to be very clear. The fans at home can't see this, but somehow your hood and the lighting in the room makes it look like you're just wearing a really flat, long-haired wig.
Yeah, I thought about that.
And it's kind of amazing, so I'm just not going to lie to you. Pretty excited. All right, definitely adds to the broadcast. All right, so Survivor Series. Let's look at this card. We'll kind of cover Raw and SmackDown along the way.
You want to talk about NXT first, since it's happening on Saturday?
That would make a lot of sense, and that's why you're the best co-host out there. All right, so we have, I believe, Velveteen Dream is going to be facing Aleister Black.
Yes, sir.
So now, I have been a little bit, as I've been very honest about before, with NXT, a lot of times I kind of binge it, so I'm planning on binging it Saturday before the show. What's been? I mean, I know that they've been interacting between the two. There's been lots of interaction between the two. Is this a clear cut, just easy win for Aleister Black, or does Velveteen Dream have a chance?
That's tough because, like, Velveteen Dream is going to put up a fight. You know, this is going to be a good match, but Aleister Black has to, you know, come away with the win. This is very reminiscent of, like, Goldust Razor Ramon, you know, aside from the Goldust trying to kiss him and all that. You know, Velveteen Dream is trying to make Aleister Black say his name, and Aleister Black just won't pay him any attention. Velveteen Dream has been great, and he's going to be awesome on NXT and on WWE in the future. But you know, same goes for Aleister Black, but we already know that. But you know, I'm definitely really looking forward to this one. It's been one of my favorite storylines going on in NXT. You know, for this takeover, and I've enjoyed the hell out of it.
You know, it kind of just makes me think for a second. Like, do you think that anybody on NXT is an NXT lifer? Or are there always going to be plans for...
Yes, Cassius Ohno.
You know, and Is that like okay? Obviously, when we say that now, that's not a positive thing, right? But
It is though, because like he's brought in, to teach the younger guys, and that's exactly what he's doing. And we'll talk about it in a second, but that's what he's going to do on this takeover show when he faces Lars Sullivan.
yeah, I'm just confused here. I mean, isn't there more worth in having him? I don't know. I just feel like he's such a successful. He could be, so successful in terms of being a top tier guy down there. That I mean, he is. But you think he's set up to lose against
Right.
Lars Sullivan?
Yeah, 1,000%. He's like a Jericho. He's there because he's amazing at professional wrestling, and he traveled around the world so much. He has this great blend of styles that he can teach the classes in NXT, and he can train these guys and make them better wrestlers. And that's what he's doing with Lars Sullivan, and that should be another fun match that helps make some younger guys.
Do you see a lot in Lars Sullivan? Because I'll be honest, I haven't seen tons of his work.
He's NXT's Braun Strowman right now, and
Okay.
he looks awesome, and he's athletic, so he's really solid. And right now he's just this big monster and all that kind of stuff. But eventually we'll develop some more character. But sometimes that's all you need with these guys.
Is he
Yeah,
bigger than Ono physically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ono is almost just as big, so that'll make for a good match for him on Saturday. But we'll just quickly we're both going Aleister Black in that first match, or
Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to go Aleister Black. I mean, I hate to make a prediction when I haven't been watching the product as much, but from what I've heard and really just what I've seen from Black, I think it's not going to be a squash, but I think that Velveteen Dream's going to get some stuff in, but at the end of the day, Aleister Black comes out the winner.
Yeah.
Same. And for Ono Sullivan, you're going Sullivan. I mean, I hate to piggyback off this, but I'm going to go Sullivan just because I'm not very familiar with.
Yeah, and it's just it's a young guy going up against someone who's been around the block and is doing everything he can to help the next generation of guys.
All right, then we have the NXT Women's. There's a NXT Women's Championship match. It's 4-way. You have Kairi Sane,
Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and Peyton Royce.
Is there Billie Kay's she doesn't really get into these matches or very often. She's just.
I think she was in a qualifier. She just lost.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, to me, this comes down to Ember and Nikki Cross. I really think it should be Nikki Cross who gets the win here. But if Ember Moon couldn't beat Asuka, and then she wins the title, it's kind of like But Nikki Cross hasn't been in the picture other than the couple of matches that they had, which were awesome. But I don't know. Do they go with Sane? Do they go with Peyton Royce? Like, anyone can really win this, but I think the two big stars are the way to go here.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Peyton Royce. I just feel that in this type of match, right? It's easy for the heel to walk away the champion, and then you have the chase, which I think would be. Would make either whoever they decide to push towards the title. Part of me thinks that it might be Sane, but that might just be because I like her elbow drop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nikki Cross, and just she deserves the belt. She's someone
been great,
who would be awesome with the belt, and I would just love to see that.
No, I completely agree. She's been great. She really has. If she wins it, I would not be upset. But I don't know. I just think I'd like to see the obnoxiousness of Peyton Royce with the title. It just reminds me very much of Lay Cool in some ways. That pairing with Billie Kay. And I'm going to go with so next. Actually, on the website, WWE officially doesn't have it in the order that I want to talk about it. But NXT champion Drew McIntyre versus Cien Almas. So, like I said, I haven't been watching a lot, but I will tell you that the little I watch, Cien Almas pisses me off, which means I think they're doing a good job with him. Like I really just, I don't dislike him because he doesn't, work well or anything crazy like that. I dislike him because he's doing a good job of getting that character over. Probably because he's, there have been some issues with my boy Johnny, and I don't like the fact that Zelina's distracting Johnny Gargano by wearing a DIY shirt and things like that. But I'm actually a little surprised that Gargano's not on the card. Don't you think that's a little weird?
Well, no, he's fighting Pete Dunne for the UK Championship for the next episode of NXT. So,
okay.
Whatever, doesn't matter. He'll be on the live show, in front of the crowd, and
okay,
whatever. That'll be the main event of the next week. But yeah, I agree with you on Almas. Ever since Vega has come in the picture, he's taken on more of that Tranquilo character, and he's doing well with that. And like you said, their act is something that really annoys you, and it's not because he's not good. It's because that's what their job is, and they're great at it. So I'm enjoying that. And at another time, I would say he had a great shot at winning this, but Drew just won it. He's not going anywhere right now as the champion, so he's going to get that win.
Yeah, no, I think he stays on top. I don't see him losing to Almas and not looking as strong. But I think Almas is going to have a really great show.
It should be a fantastic match, though.
Yeah, no, I 100% think that this is going to be a really good showing from Almas. He's really been great down there. I mean, do you think that he stays down there for much longer?
It's tough because there's so much talent on the main roster. But, him and Vega are an act that's ready for Raw or SmackDown. But, it remains to be seen what happens after this.
Speaking of Raw or SmackDown, I can't remember the last time I saw Mike Bennett.
No, I think Maria is pregnant. I saw something about that the other day. I also think Mike Bennett was in the SmackDown vignette that opened the show where Shane was hyping up the whole roster. But yeah, I don't know. I guess her being pregnant, kind of put a kibosh on that whole character that they were going for. So,
but I mean,
which may not be a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, the power of love.
He can't come out and be Mike Kanellis with the power of love and not have Maria.
Well, I mean, can't she work pregnant for a little bit? Like, power of love. Look, the power of love is so powerful. We're gonna have a baby. No, like inappropriate.
It's the same reason that Maurice disappeared immediately.
Lita was pregnant.
Yeah.
I feel like you're telling me that wasn't real. All right, moving along. Then we have what really everyone is. I think everyone should be tuning in for. Sanity versus the Undisputed Era versus the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong. I haven't been watching as much, but this is... I'm so excited for WarGames. The only thing that I think I'd be more excited for is the Battle Bowl. Was that the WCW, right? Where they had the random tag teams qualifying for that Battle Royal. I mean...
or the Lethal Lottery, either one.
Yeah, like whatever, like 3 rings and 60 guys. And by the way,
that's World War III.
Oh, the guys...
Yeah, that was just madness.
The guys that, they bring... Because even old, like, WWE Royal Rumbles, one of the greatest things was, like, the random dudes that would just come out of nowhere. Like, Carlos Colon would always show up out of nowhere. So, I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward. That kind of stuff is amazing. But WarGames is definitely up there. I just don't know. So, first of all, I've heard that it's not going to be covered.
Mm-hmm.
Is this true?
Yeah, Triple H said it on the conference call today that there was going to be no reasoning was, maybe not in this one, but down the line when they use war games, there may be someone who needs to hit a moonsault off the top of the cage, and Arn Anderson wasn't doing that, so it was a different style for that match. But nowadays, with the guys that are on the roster, an open cage makes more sense, and I don't disagree with that. Like seeing some sick dives in the war games would be pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, I suppose so. Just part of me also feels that the whole point of war games was you're trapped in there,
Right, that you're trapped you can't go anywhere. But whatever.
Because couldn't you then argue that you could have a heel move where, they kind of like leave the cage and let the other guys fight it out for a while?
Yeah, I mean, this is wrestling, like you know that, right? This is not a real thing, so I'm sure they'll just stay inside the cage. Or you could have the heels, fake try to escape and get pulled down or something like that.
Sorry, as a self-professed, well, when I was a younger man, real life heel, just because I knew I couldn't win clean. I had to be a heel because I just naturally couldn't win. So, my first thought is, if I'm in a cage where the point is that we're going to beat the crap out of each other, and there are two other teams, I'm logically going to get the fuck out of Dodge. And I'm going to park my ass somewhere else. I'm that dude in the Royal Rumble who goes under the bottom rope and just goes under the fucking ring. Why wouldn't you do that? Smartest move ever.
Makes sense.
Look. All right. Anywho. So, who do you think goes... I mean, okay, my choice here, and this is only because I really like them, it's the Undisputed Era.
I mean, I don't think it's only because you really like them. I think it's the best choice, with a team that just debuted and has been, had a good showing so far on NXT. I don't think this is any time for them to look weak or lose. On that note, and the first note that we touched on about the cage, I'm going to say that this could very well be a spot where we see the debut of maybe someone like Donovan Dijak, joining the Undisputed Era by climbing in the cage and, helping them dominate towards the end of this match.
Don't do things like that, because if Dijak comes out...
I've been holding on to that one for like a week or so.
You bastard.
Like, I was thinking about it, and then Triple H announced today that there was no roof, and I was like, well, that just kind of helps my theory, that much more. So, I don't know. Would that be something that, hurts the War Games? Right? Like, that's part of the War Games. There's always some type of shenanigans with the heel manager or something like that. Someone turns. So, unless they're going to do, a Roddy turn, which I don't agree with or think so, then, something like Dijak or something like that showing up would be pretty awesome.
So, I'm not going to lie to you. I actually think that Roddy turns. That's what I thought before you just brought up Dijak. Dijak is a really good argument. And would be great.
Yeah, but, they've been having the feud with Roddy, and, why his whole thing is the babyface with his family, and I don't know. I don't think that would be good for Roddy's character to join up with them.
All right. I mean, I see what you're saying there. He's definitely a super babyface there. I could easily see him providing for his family, and then maybe even talk about how these guys are his family because they're brothers because they were together, and him and Cole go back.
Mm.
All right.
I don't know. It very well could be an option, but I don't know. I would just keep Roddy as the babyface.
All right. Fair enough. So we both say Undisputed Era. The only difference will be which former Ring of Honor star plays the deciding role, I guess, right, in that match.
Yeah.
All right, so moving right along to Survivor Series, and I gotta say,
Survivor Series.
I am pretty effing hyped. Like, I think the only thing that would make it that could raise my hype level at this point is if somehow, like, if all the matches were the 5-man tags.
No, I don't think so. Like I'm really with you. I'm definitely looking forward to this show, and I think they've done a hell of a job of putting this card together. Say what you will about the changes and whatever else. With what they had, they didn't plan for guys to be sick or be out and that sort of thing. So, that part of it is what it is. But I just think with the matches that they settled on, they didn't make a bad decision. So we'll discuss them as we go, but I'm definitely looking forward to the show overall.
So we've got first matchup on the card, kickoff match, WWE Cruiserweight Champion Enzo Amore versus Kalisto. Now,
yeah, joy.
I used to think that the kickoff would, okay, so there are times where I think in the past we would talk about how, you open a show and you open a show with a big pop, right? So normally you would have a face go over. Then I think there were shows like SummerSlam where it was like 4 matches in a row. The heels started in one, so I feel like a lot of that's out the window. And I used
and the kickoff is, it counts as part of the show because
yeah,
whatever, but it's not really the opening match.
And I used to think that on the kickoff it's always the face going over, but I don't think so here.
No,
I
definitely not true.
Like, what's the point of Kalisto winning the title? There's none.
Nah, there is none. So I don't really see any reason why he gets the win. Enzo just got it back, and they might as well just let him roll with it for as long as they're going to go.
Yeah, I mean,
there's there's rumors of a Tommy coming up to 205 Live, so he could definitely be a big player on that team, on that show. Supposedly they're going to sign Rockstar Spud once all his visa stuff is done. So he's another great character that they can add to that show and definitely make use of.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, for my money, I'm really enjoying Gulak's work. I just think that he's kind of hilarious. He's obviously paired up with Enzo now, but I think that maybe he gets involved somehow and helps Enzo win the match.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, moving right along. So on the show proper, I suppose, the way it's listed here, we have The Miz, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Baron Corbin, the United States Champion. I don't want to... Just looking at this card, this is the match that I'm actually the least interested in. Even the Cruiserweight Championship included. I just don't like this. I don't like... Look, heel versus heel works when they have... I mean, this is just... bragging rights, right? I mean, I don't feel like this really means much.
This was Miz and Corbin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't... Miz and Corbin is a weird matchup, of all the things that they adjusted, I guess they couldn't, switch everything. But this one is a little strange, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. And, Corbin has been fine of late. The Miz has been great. His promos and stuff that he's been cutting have just been phenomenal. And, he'll do a great job of working hard to get Corbin over as much as he can.
Oh no, I think he'll be fantastic in this match. I'm just, I'm still not sure about. I'm not sold on Corbin. I guess, and I guess I need to see more. And I'm not super interested to see Corbin against Miz in particular. It's just I like Miz as champion, but if you're gonna do this, I'd rather some sort of white meat babyface facing off against Corbin. I think it would, it'd get me more into it. So then we have the women's traditional Survivor Series match. And, I mean, all these changes. But we have Bayley with Team Captain Alicia Fox, who's been fantastic lately. Nia Jax, Sasha Banks. Against SmackDown Team Captain Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Tamina, and a superstar to be named later. I mean, what are our possibilities here? Because I have a strong feeling it's Paige.
Right. I mean, if it's not Paige, then I don't know, unless, Natalya bullies her way back in there. But if it was going to be Natalya, I feel like they would just have announced that, right off the bat. Oh, the winner is the champion, the loser is in the Survivor Series match or something like that. So I don't know. It'll be interesting if it's Paige. But I guess we'll see. This is strange because, like, let's say I feel, either show wins the men's match, then the other show probably wins the women. So I don't know. Like, I guess I'm going to go with Raw. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't want to. I think in years past or in other times, I would sit there and look at the card and kind of decide based on, heel, face, or in this case, Raw or SmackDown, who's going to win. I'm just not going to do that. I just want to look at it match by match, and it's probably going to screw me over, and you're going to take the lead somehow in our, in our back and forth whenever we do these previews. But I'm going to go with Raw because I think that I can see Asuka being one of the finals. I can see her being like a sole survivor.
Right. Asuka is not losing. Asuka is winning the Survivor Series. So yeah. There's really no, everyone else on Raw can lose. It doesn't matter. Asuka will be the survivor at the end.
Fair. All right. Then we have the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss versus the newly crowned SmackDown's Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, who won it in Charlotte. I think that the only thing that bothered me was about her win, and this is just really weird. Like, I guess outside the ring stuff, but I had seen someone post, I believe, a picture of Enzo and Ric Flair. Now, this could have been from Raw, but I'm almost positive it was from SmackDown.
Yep.
And seeing that, so I was like, oh, Rick's there, right? And it didn't spoil who was going to win for me. Somehow, I don't know why it didn't spoil it for me, but I guess because I really felt that Charlotte was going to walk out the champion. So I guess there was no spoiler there because I felt like she was going to win. And then we kind of spoke through text message about the weird, she didn't know that he was there, and I'm just like, did Enzo post the picture online, or was it somebody else?
I believe Enzo did.
So it's almost, I wonder if he got some heat, because if I don't know that he's there, right, then what happened at the end with her being so surprised that he was, it feels a little more real.
It's funny because you tried to defend this and right after. But
I did, but because I was confused about what you were. I guess I didn't, like, I was trying to say, like, it was a work and, like, she probably knew, but what I didn't get to, like, process before that was that we knew he was backstage. Like, there's a difference between her acting like she doesn't know and she knows, but we as a WB universe, because of social media and the same thing that they always tout about how popular they are on social media and how many people are following these guys and these guys. Well, if that's the case, then Enzo tweeting out or whatever, putting out on Instagram that pic of him and Ric Flair, then spoils that Flair's there, and then makes her performance, even if we knew that if she won he was going to be there, because it's fucking Ric Flair and that's the kind of shit he would do. Like, it still is like, oh, that's cool though, because they could play it off really well. It just felt like because I actually watched it again, it felt like, oh God, I'm not buying this because I know, and it's not just because I'm like good at figuring stuff out. I know Ric Flair's there.
Yeah, I don't know. When I saw the picture, one, they were in North Carolina, so whatever. Of course, he's going to be there. Two, it could have been from Raw. I didn't think twice about it. It didn't matter. I believe last week on the show I said that I thought Charlotte was going to actually win the belt on SmackDown. So either way, going into it, I thought she was going to win. They had a great match. She got the win. It was a great moment. But then, yeah, it was just a very strange speech saying, I know my dad's at home watching. I know he's going to tweet me. And then, he just walks out on stage. So, like, you don't know that your dad is backstage. Like, he just showed up during your match and came out to surprise you. I don't, like, why even let her get through that full promo? I don't get it. Whoever wrote that was just really dumb. If it was written before they knew Rick was going to be there, then that's fine. But then they should have changed it once they saw he was there, or just not have him come out on camera. So the logic behind all of that just baffles me, and we'll stop spending so much time trying to figure out the nonsense.
The one thing I think
Charlotte versus Alexa.
The one thing that I was arguing with you, I think, was just that, because of his health, they kind of had to do it that way, I guess. Right? Because if he was healthy,
it's a live show. It was on Tuesday. Like you know he's healthy enough, and once you know he's there, then change it, or don't have him come out on the stage. It works either way. Don't say he's at home watching me. He's gonna tweet me when he's gonna come out on the stage.
True. I mean, I guess it's also the backstage area has to be, I guess, in the kayfabe world, right? Because if you think about it logically, these people are...
Let's stop trying to think about it logically, because there is no logic.
No, I just mean wrestling. Like,
Ric Flair would have texted Charlotte and said, "Hey, I'll see you later." There's no... Like, Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss, better match than Alexa and Natty. I'm definitely looking forward to it way more. This is the match of the two best women in the past 2 years of WWE TV. So this is the match it should have been all along. This is fine. I can't wait to watch it. As for who wins, I'm going to say Alexa, I guess. But I don't know. It could definitely go either way.
Just to remind you that the listeners out there, that Charlotte was like, I think one of either my first or second draft pick when the draft was happening. So I've just
conveniently so after Rosenberg picked her first. But anyway.
Wow. So you're saying that what I do is I watch other people's drafts and then use that to make my own drafts?
Sounds about right.
It's definitely what I do for fantasy football.
If only you did that in fantasy
football.
Well,
I do.
Might win some games.
I do, but I do it. Unfortunately, the draft with you is always fucking first. Like, it's always first. Like, after I draft with you and I look at it and I look at the teams, I go, fuck. Damn it. This is what I should have done. Every year. I think we need to join some like other lowbrow one that always drafts before ours, and then like I'll be far more comfortable or whatever. I don't know. Or I could just
join... Charlotte, Alexa, who you got?
Charlotte, 100%.
Okay. And I think I know you don't want to think about it this way, but if Asuka is the winner, then Charlotte winning the champion versus champion match would make sense for to keep it even. But then I could also see Alexa getting the win and Asuka being the one to challenge her because she was dominant. So either way, I think we're headed for Asuka, Alexa, and I don't really know where we're going on SmackDown. Maybe Carmella cashes in on Sunday. Who the hell knows?
This isn't, by the way, in any way, shape, or form, a purely unbiased pick. I want Charlotte to win. I'm not going to overthink it. Like, that's who I want to win. So I'm just going with her. And I think I'm going to do the same thing in the next match. Shield versus New Day. This has been pretty cool, man. I'm pretty excited about this. I feel like New Day somehow made me more excited about the Shield.
First off, did you see how awkward it was on SmackDown when Braun Strowman got in the ring and was like waiting to power slam Shane, and then instead the Shield hit the second pop-up powerbomb, or triple powerbomb, whatever. That was just awesome. But it's kind of cool because who are the best two factions or groups in the past 5 years? It's the Shield and the New Day. So that's kind of cool that we're going to get to see this. And it's, we're two top factions, whatever, in a while, and it's SmackDown versus Raw. So, that was a great move on their part. I'm glad everyone was back and good to go. But, this is another tough one because I'm just going to say the Shield wins because it's Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. But it could go either way. It's a tag team match, so you can tease some dissension. You can tease anything you want to let the New Day pick up the win. But, either way, I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with the Shield here just because it's the first time they're actually back together here, and it would be...
Right, that too, I forgot.
If this were the second time, I could say that maybe they lose. But, they have to have some success before there can be dissension, right? Because...
I guess.
I don't think it's going to blow up right away. So I think there's time.
I don't either, but I also, where do they go? Do they just build this to Mania and, have a triple threat or something?
I think so.
I could definitely see something like that. Maybe it comes down to the 3 Shield and someone else in the Rumble, and they got to fight it out. I don't know. Either way.
Oh, man. That'd be a crazy moment. I could just see the crowd going nuts for that.
I'll call it, what is today, November 17th, 16th? I'll say that in January, it'll come down to the Shield and Nakamura as the final four.
That's bonkers. All right, so we both go Shield. Then we have the Bar versus the Usos. This is the match that I look at.
So,
okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is the match that I look at. And what I think is, if I had been paying attention to my SmackDown versus Raw picks, this match would almost be decided by that.
I guess.
I don't know if I see a clear cut. I mean, I guess the Usos, just because I'm not sure if the Bar needs the win. And I feel like the Usos, that, I don't know, they're just such a strong team, but I don't know, I'm a little kind of undecided on this one. I'm just going to call Usos because they're on the right side of the screen right now, and my name begins with an R, and so does right.
Wow. And your last name begins with an L, and so does left. Anyway.
Son of a bitch. That's great. Yo, never thought about that.
Mind blowing stuff here.
In our bathroom, gents, but not going to lie, in our bathroom, Statwife and I...
No.
It doesn't say it, but...
Oh my God.
Okay. Because
right, left, center.
Yes.
You have all 3.
Yes. It was crazy because before Charlie, it was just right and left, right? So it was the easiest way because growing up, I always had some weird towel that I insisted on using, right? So, and I also didn't have somebody else to share a towel with, so I wasn't used to the same towels. So I walk in. When she takes out the towels and they're the same, I'm like, how do you know which one is which? So then I was like, oh, we need a system. Wait, Rich Lauren, right, left. There, we got it. So we had that, and then Charlie was born, and we're like, oh my goodness, he's center. And it's just, it's been, I mean, obviously if we have another one, I don't know what to do. Like off center? I don't know. Like we have to... Have the name next came with an O, and as we know, I have been promised that if that were to happen, it would be Logan. So, anyway, back to the match.
Anywho,
what people
Right.
really tune in for.
This is something that just shows why WWE sucks and just how bad they can be. The Usos, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I never heard this until the Uso promo on SmackDown. Last year at Survivor Series, there was the whole 10-man tag, 10-team tag, 5 teams from Raw versus 5 teams from SmackDown. And it came down to Sheamus and Cesaro representing Raw versus the Usos representing SmackDown. And that's freaking awesome that a year later, now they're the tag team champions on those shows, and they're going to face off again. That's amazing continuity and great storytelling that, maybe they realized, maybe that's why they took the belts off the Shield. Maybe it was just to put them against the New Day. I don't know. But either way, they stumbled backwards into something. And, that little tidbit made me care about this tag team match 1,000 times more. I love both these teams, but it was something that, okay, who cares? Tag champs versus tag champs. Great. Nothing happens. But because they have some history and because it was, the deciding factor of the last Survivor Series, that amps it up a little bit for me. There'll be some added intensity. And just because I like the Usos, I'm going to say the Usos as well.
All right. Your reason sounds a lot more sound than mine. But either way, we came to the same conclusion. And now this is insane. I mean, I don't even know if I can track all the changes. But the main event, presumably... Well, actually... So this is weird.
Not the main event. No, it's not.
What,
AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar is the main event. Done deal. Not even a question about it.
Okay. All right. Well, in the semi-main, you're going to have Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Team Raw is captained by Kurt Angle. You have Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and just this past week, Jordan was injured at the hands of Bray Wyatt. So now he was a weak link on the team, and Triple H came out and inserted himself into the match. And they're facing off against Shane O'Mac, Captain Shane O'Mac, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Twitter announced to the team, John Cena. I don't know, man. I mean, so there are so many layers here. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that, like, Owens and Zayn, I think, will play some kind of role, I feel. I mean, they have this issue with Shane. They're not on the team. I could see them even building off of the legit punishment they had from being sent home from the tour. Maybe it was kayfabe, and maybe that's going to be exploited here so that they make their presence known. But at the same time, now you have Triple H, pedigreed Jason Jordan. Angle can't be happy with Triple H. And I guess what it comes down...
Payback for Angle, kissing Stephanie 20 years ago.
I mean, you have so much... So, I guess the question is, are we leading to a Mania Shane or Triple H, or are we leading to a Mania Shane Kurt Angle? I mean, not Shane Kurt Angle.
We're leading to
Triple H Kurt Angle, sorry.
Yeah, I think that's perhaps the Mania that we're leading to. Or I don't even know if that'll be Mania, but if that happens, it'll probably be at WrestleMania. So I could definitely see some sort of something like that down the line. Your thought last week on Jordan turning on Raw and joining SmackDown was like a little bit furthered for me almost this week when he was hurt and he was begging Kurt and Kurt was fighting for him, and it just was really like, okay, like he wants him on the team too much, man. So now that he's hurt, I don't know, maybe he runs out to try to help Raw and ends up costing them or turning on them, either way. But so I could definitely see something like that. I don't think he'll just be left out in the cold of this main event, even though if he was, I probably wouldn't notice or care. But this will be interesting. On one side, you have Shinsuke and Bobby Roode. On the other, you have Joe, Braun, and Balor to go with the legends that are accompanying them. So that's a cool mix there. I like Triple H getting at it. It adds an extra level to the match, and there's still enough young guys in there. There's still enough young guys featured elsewhere throughout this card, so I'm fine with that. Orton is Survivor Series. You know, that's been his dominant pay-per-view his whole career. Cena, that's fine that he's added to SmackDown. Stephanie even turned it into part of the storyline, right? Like, he was last on Raw, and now he's on SmackDown. What the hell? That's your fault. So I like that, the way they went with that, and I'm looking forward to this. You know, we all love the Survivor Series tags, and, you know, this will be a lot of fun. Last year's was phenomenal.
Like, does Braun get pinned? Does he lose? Does he get, like, disqualified? How do you get...
Kane, maybe?
Okay.
I could see something like that. I'm gonna say that Shinsuke is a survivor here. I think with Raw laying out SmackDown this week, and I know that was the only time it could happen because of the schedules and that they weren't in the same cities, but I just feel like SmackDown gets the win here, and I think that's going to be Shinsuke and setting him up to feud with AJ, possibly at WrestleMania.
Wow. What I love
Did you see that video this week?
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't, wherever they were, Italy, I believe.
Yeah.
Shinsuke versus Jinder versus AJ. AJ got the win, obviously, and then it was him and AJ in the ring, him and Shinsuke in the ring. The crowd chanted WrestleMania. AJ said that would be too sweet. So, I mean, please, WWE, just make that happen.
So I guess it's weird. I'm having a problem calling who wins. I mean, I'm not even going to go with trying to pick a Soul Survivor. I don't even know if I could do it. I mean, at this point...
No, I don't know that there will be a Soul Survivor, but...
Like, okay. What I'm looking at right now is... It's like, what is the best WrestleMania match? Now, the other thing is that because Stephanie put this stipulation that if Kurt loses, he gets fired. Correct. You know, I see, okay, what if Jordan comes out to interfere and it kind of backfires? And
what if he just comes out to interfere and costs Kurt Angle his job?
He cost Kurt his job, so now you could have Kurt versus Jordan, right? Father versus son, that great story. And then you have, on the SmackDown side, you have Owens and Zayn get involved, but they actually shockingly help Shane win. So now Stephanie names Triple H to be the Raw GM. You have Triple H versus Shane as the GMs. And then, like, you can go back to SmackDown and have Zayn and Owens talk about how they helped Shane and Shane owes them. I mean, and then you could even have it come out that later down the road, maybe they were always Triple H's dudes, and they did that to get Triple H in a position of power.
I think that's thinking ahead too much for them. But them coming out to help Shane, just either whatever the end result is, I'm not sure that would fit. You know what's going on currently with how they've been just abandoning everything having to do with SmackDown and claiming not to care. So I think them not getting involved would speak louder, to the fact that they don't care about any of this stuff and they don't want anything to do with it. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, how that match unfolds with all those guys.
I guess I just think that, Trips is a cerebral assassin, and in many ways Owens is similar, right? So, what would Shane expect the least, right? And it's them helping him because they're smart. I don't know. I'm overbooking the territory at this point.
Yeah,
but
big time.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because there are so many freaking layers to this match.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that, like I've said this, a number of times, but when I don't know there are too many possibilities. I mean, I had the unfortunate task of being of grabbing this match for preview over our last word on pro wrestling, You should go check it out. We have previews of every match for both the NXT show and Survivor Series. And I had to pick this one, and I had to change the end like 4 times, and I just didn't know. I don't know. And that's when I love professional wrestling the best, when I don't know. Like when I don't know that my mom is going to share the Ring of Honor Final Battle Facebook post, event, whatever page, to my page today, because, you know, like, hey, I think you might be interested in this. I was like, I love you, Mom. I already have tickets. But, like, it's just kind of crazy that my mom didn't really know, right? But, you know, secretly, she probably reads some of my work, so didn't expect that either.
Sure.
But I think Survivor Series is going to be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to it. I wish we didn't have work the next day.
And, you know, we have the main event of AJ and Brock that we didn't discuss.
We don't. I mean, whatever. Is that really a big deal?
No.
Do they really do much to change for that?
That should just be fantastic. It'll be a real cool story to watch, to see how they use AJ's speed and his agility and all that stuff that he has that Brock doesn't, to try to counter Brock. You know, there's a part of me that feels like this comes down to AJ hitting the phenomenal forearm and trying to go for a second or a third, you know, to make sure Brock stays down and Brock catches him in the F5, game over. But this is going to be a lot of fun. It would stun me, but like in a good way, if AJ got this win. You know, I think that would be kind of crazy. But, you know, same with Jinder or anyone else. You put up a fight, you hang with Brock for a while, you tease that you can get the win, you make the crowd believe, and you're a made man. And I don't think AJ has any problem getting the crowd behind him or to believe in him. So this should be a lot of fun from a crowd perspective.
Oh, I'm super excited here. I think that Brock don't want none, and I'm actually going to go with AJ. I know it seems kind of... I can actually say to you right now that I think I'm probably wrong, but I'm so much more excited about this match than Jinder, and because of that, I'm in it, and I want to see AJ stand tall.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, him winning the title and losing to Brock is unfortunate timing if that's what happens. So you really never know. But it's Brock. But AJ is the man. So if there's anyone who could do it, at this point, it would be AJ.
Well, looking forward to it. So that's our Survivor Series preview for the week. I don't think there's really anything else to cover. I mean, Ring of Honor had a good show. I would check it out if I were you guys, but we're running a little long. Heel wife over here is telling me that I got to get out of here. So thanks for joining us. I just want to remind you that you guys can check us out everywhere. Please rate, review, and subscribe over on iTunes. You can follow. We're on SoundCloud as well. You can follow us on Twitter at Running Wild LWOS and on Facebook at Running Wild on Wrestling. You can send us emails with trivia, comments, feedback, anything to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow my pro wrestling coverage, specifically Ring of Honor, over at pwponderings.com and ROHworld.com. And you can check out, like I said before, my previews of the 5-man match and AJ versus Brock over at lastwordonprowrestling.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Rich_Laconi, where I tweet random things about the Warlord and the Barbarian. Thank you guys for joining us this week. So remind you that you've been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.
For Rich and Runz, this is the host of Ring of Honor Wrestling, Ian Riccaboni, signing off. Be sure to join them next week for another episode of the Running Wild Podcast.